Hey, I'm with George Burny from Barrington Packaging Systems Group, and we're going to be talking about the IBIE trade show coming up just in a few days from now. George, before we start the video, I'm going to put all the contact information on screen so people will have it. Tell us how people can get a hold of you.
Well, Danny, they can always call me at 888-814-7999, extension 1. Or they can email me at gjburny@bpsgusa.com. Now, this is an important trade show for the bakery industry. It's one of the largest trade shows in the world and happens every 3 years. IBIE has been a very good show for Barrington because we've been able to meet with small and mid-sized food companies, particularly bakeries, that are looking for the opportunity to lower their labor costs, lower their packaging costs, and of course, improve the quality of their products. Barrington has the ability to provide customers with affordable automation for their plants. Everything from flow wrappers, bagging systems, check weighers, metal detectors, combination units, shrink wraps, and the most important thing is that we can provide almost immediate delivery on a great many items that we have in our inventory, which in this day and age with supply chain difficulties, there's a real need for having inventory ready to be shipped immediately to the customer to do the three things that I mentioned: lower your labor costs, lower your packaging costs, and improve the quality of your product. Barrington is unique in that we offer a 2-year parts and labor warranty on all the equipment that we sell. Now that means is that if something breaks in the first 2 years of the operation of the equipment, now we do a great deal of work in terms of providing you with equipment that is reliable, okay? We've got pieces of equipment, flow wrappers, for example, that have been in the marketplace for 15 years. Our service levels in terms of fast track are as follows. We would get an order, we correspondingly would ship the product to you. We would then have a trained technician go on site to train you and your people, not only your operators, but your maintenance people as well in the operation of the machine. Now, that's common sense because since I'm offering a 2-year parts and labor warranty on the equipment, I want your people to know it as well as I do so that we can keep you operating in an efficient manner. Now, as far as parts are concerned, oftentimes people are concerned about that. Since we designed the equipment here in Chicago, what we're able to do is that we can do parts that are available from us, of course, McMaster Carr or Granger, which expedites your ability to get your machine up and running again if in the unlikely event something breaks. Now, there is a tremendous amount of turnover in the marketplace with respect to operational people. So therefore, having the ability to review a installation and training session with one of our technicians is really valuable to the customer. So consequently, what we can do is that we take the training and installation process so that they can refer back to it when a new hire comes on stream. Well, travel being as expensive as it is, and as time consuming as it is, what we've been able to do of late is to use Zoom or an equivalent of Zoom to do a on-site video visual of the process. So in other words, if you have an issue, whether as it relates to a piece of equipment that we've sold, we correspondingly can do a Zoom call almost within the next day so that you're not down. As we're talking about bakery products, they're not fine wine. They don't live forever. So therefore, you have to, if you're down, we take that as a personal challenge to us to get you up and running as soon as possible.
So if a phone call comes in with an emergency issue, obviously over the phone, things can be discussed, what to do next. But if they need to live stream back to you what's going on, your rep can then help them just watching what's happening and guide them through it.
Exactly the case, yes.
Got it. Now, let's talk for a second here about this machine that you're right in front of. This is a BPS 350S, and in the booth that you're going to have, and what's that booth number again at IBIE?
671.
So you're in booth 671. We invite everyone watching this video to come out and meet George and a team member to talk about your needs. You're going to be having a short in-feed flow wrapper. Tell us a little bit about the difference between the one you're standing next to and the short in-feed flow wrapper, and why have two different types?
Well, Barrington likes to consider themselves a very competitive company in terms of pricing on equipment. And one of the things that we've noticed that a great many of our customers are space challenged. So consequently, at the show, we are bringing a short in-feed flow wrapper. Now this is a fully featured machine, as all the Barrington flow wrappers are, that features stainless steel, registered wrap, top chain conveyor, 3 servos, which allows us to do a number of things on the machine that will save you product damage and jams through the course of the operation of the equipment. Now, our machines are bilingual. Generally, they're English and Spanish, but they can be English or any other language that you choose. Yes, HMI screen, human machine interface, as you can see right here, has the ability to go back and forth between not only the operational aspects of the machine, but also to go back and forth between the language that's on the machine.
All right, now, when you have a short in-feed conveyor, you talked just for a second about space issues. What are some of the space issues that you're talking about?
Well, a conventional flow wrapper is 13 feet long, as you can see from here to the end. A short in-feed conveyor is approximately 8 feet long and still has the same features as the full-size machine, but it's shorter in terms of a footprint. Some customers are interested in eliminating a pressure-sensitive label manually applied on the product, and so therefore at this show we will be showing a labeling system that operates within the parameters of the machine to automatically put a label on prior to the film going into the forming tube. Now, these features are obviously labor saving, okay? The second thing is that some customers want a chicane, which is a system with an indexing system that'll take randomly scattered products and orient them to go into the machine to increase the speed that you can run. Now, the Barrington machines, generally with a manual application, are going to run between 80 and 120 packages per minute. But with the indexing system and the chicane, you can get up to the full speed of the machine, roughly 180 to 200 packages per minute.
I've seen everything from burgers going through a flow wrapper to ice cream sandwiches, even a sticky kind of, let's call it a fudge nut bar. And some of these items go on a little tray. What's that system? What's involved with that?
Well, obviously you can have a tray insertion system that'll put the tray down into the lugs going into the flow wrapper, okay, which quite frankly will increase the speed that you're able to wrap the product. Of course, there's a cost in terms of the tray and the indexing system to go along with it, but that'll improve the speed at which the machine runs and eliminate some of the damage, because the product, as you're aware of or should be aware of, once it leaves the in-feed conveyor, it goes into the adjustable forming tube. Now that's important because a lot of our competitors, they ask that you buy a forming tube for each individual product. Now bakers generally have a multiplicity of items: bagels, cookies, brownies, Danish, sweet goods. And what our machines are able to do is to go with an adjustable forming head so that you can make the adjustments within the parameters of the machine on an ongoing basis, which lowers the time spent on changeovers and increases your efficiency by lowering your labor costs and improving the quality of your product, as well as lowering your packaging costs. As all bakers and food processing people know, you want to have a streamlined process. You want to, for example, mix the product, you want to form the product, you want to bake the product, you want to ice the product, you want to cool the product, you want to package the product. That's the best way to do it. When you automate the packaging portion of it, number one, you'll improve the quality, and you'll secondly, more importantly, you'll increase the code life, because we have some expertise in giving you guidance as it relates to the consumable products, basically the film, whether it's clear film, printed film, or a specialty lamination. We're sensitive to the fact that they're going to need some help and guidance as it relates to the consumable product. Now, from a film standpoint, we give them a short dissertation on film costs and product protection in order to guide them in terms of the best application for the product that they're trying to protect. The second thing is that oftentimes they want to get into printed film for obvious reasons, because it eliminates some of the labor having to manually put on a pressure sensitive label. Now that means is that we'll give them guidance in terms of whether or not they want to go narrow web, wide web, or buy quantities of film offshore. That's basically part of the Barrington advantage, in that we cover the beginning, the middle, and the tail end of the sales process. Barrington will take, for example, a flow wrapper or a bagging system or a shrink system and tie that in with two other pieces of equipment that, one, give you some product protection in terms of litigation. We are in a very highly litigious society, so therefore we recommend that you go with a metal detector. The second thing is, an accounting likes this. Bakers are notoriously poor accountants. That's why a baker's dozen is 13. So therefore what we do is that we go with a check weigher. Now the check weigher has a USB port that can export the data to accounting or to a customer. Let's say you're doing private label products. If you do private label, you won't have to have someone on site to have them watch what you're doing, because you can export the data from the USB port on the check weigher and, to a degree, the metal detector to your customer, so they have assurances that you're making the product at the right time, right place, with the appropriate protections for them. A great many of our customers come to us with an embryonic idea, and we correspondingly say to them, what you might consider is going to a contract packer to test the market on the machine, okay? Be it a flow wrapper, a bagging system, a shrink system, and so on. So consequently, we work closely with contract packers who correspondingly are able to do everything from flow wrapped items to sachet pack stick baggers.
Talk about gas flushing a little bit and how that helps, and why do people do that?
Well, gas flushing isn't for everybody, okay? You have to have a degree of high moisture content in the product in order for it to make sense. What modified atmosphere packaging, or gas flushing, does is it takes the oxygen by inserting nitrogen or CO2 into the package. Now, one additional memo, the thing that you have to be sensitive to, is that the package can't be a low-density polyethylene, or it can't be a conventional polypropylene. It has to be a barrier film in order for it to hold the gas in place, so that you can correspondingly get the maximum benefits of putting nitrogen or CO2 in a modified atmosphere package on the shelves. Generally, what happens is that you do that in order to extend the code life of the product, okay? And that's why we have that feature on most of the machines that we do: flow wrappers, vertical form and fills, stick baggers, and so on. Everything we've talked about so far in terms of all the equipment that Barrington has, flow wrappers, vertical form and fills, bagging machines, shrink systems, can be discussed in greater detail if you visit our booth 671 at the IBIE show this coming week.
George, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and or meet up with you, what's the best way for them to do it?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to give me a call. My phone number is 888-814-7999, extension 1. I'll repeat it, 888-814-7999, extension 1. And I'll be happy to talk to you about any application that you have. Well, one of the things that you should be aware of is that when we do a system, we test it, significantly test it here on site. And generally, the person that does the testing is the tech that will do the installation and training. We believe that's a flawless way of getting the machine out of our warehouse onto your production floor and correspondingly saving you the money that you've invested in it. Now, oftentimes people call on retail customers like a Costco or a Jewel or somebody, a Safeway, and Safeway will say, yeah, we're going to put you in. Now, you've correspondingly not geared up for that, and then all of a sudden they come across and give you a PO. You've got to be in a position to deliver the product as quickly and efficiently as possible. So therefore, we have the equipment on floor for an almost immediate delivery, anywhere from 7 to 10 days. Everybody has an idea and a dream, and they bring those ideas and those dreams to us. And with our years of experience in the food business, we can give them guidance in terms of how they can correspondingly take that dream, that idea, to the marketplace. From, we like to say, from the factory floor to the shelf in the store. So that said, okay, bring your ideas to us. We'd be happy to talk to you about them. If you meet us over at the IBIE show at booth 671, that's the IBIE show 671. Bring us a sample of the product, and then we'll give you some guidance as to how to go about taking your dream to reality. Since we're given a 2-year parts and labor warranty on our equipment, we want to make sure that the equipment is run properly and that the application for what the customer wants to do is in fact spot on with the equipment that we're suggesting, okay? Now, how do we go about that? Sometimes we bring product in here and we run it and we videotape it so that they can see the product running through the machine. Sometimes we can live stream it if they want to. If they want to see the equipment running with their product on it and have questions as it goes through, we'll do that as well. So there's any number of ways that we can handle new product ideas and innovations within our factory.
I understand that you have many different reps that work with you for the solutions on films that are needed and the equipment solutions that are needed. You have, does every rep talk about every type of machine, or do you have some people that focus on coffee and K-cups and others? I understand you even have a business turnaround specialist on your team. You have people that have worked with extremely large companies. And then you have people that work with just startups. Talk about your team a little bit for us.
Well, my business partner, Larry Pence, is a 16-year veteran of the Navy, and his area of expertise was training electronics, people in the electronics field of highly classified electronics, okay? My background is consumer packaged goods with companies that are startup all the way up to ConAgra and companies of that ilk. Now, we also have some marketing people on the staff that are expert in marketing analysis and marketing programs, as well as generalists that have field level experience in terms of operating plants and equipment in their own account, as well as helping people from a consulting standpoint to help them build and grow and build their business. Well, what you're looking at right now is a BPS 350 doing a school sandwich pack, a 2-pack of a roll and a sausage patty. It's going at about 85-90 a minute with approximately 3 people loading and 1 person catching. As you can see, the machine is completely stainless steel because we deal with food plants. Secondly, you can see that there's a clear film that's running on it. If, on the other hand, this customer wanted to go to printed film, we have a registered wrap feature that is part and parcel of our fully featured machines. As you can see, there's a platform chain that carries the product into the adjustable forming head and then goes through the jaws and the fin seal in order to seal the package and give you a hermetic seal. Because we put the quality into the equipment that we do, we're able to give a 2-year parts and labor warranty on everything we do. Now that's different than our competitors who generally only do 1 year on parts. So therefore, as I've mentioned in the past, parts are available from us, McMaster Carr, or Grainger. We will be in force at the booth, so therefore we'll give everybody an appropriate amount of time to work with us in discussing the application that they're working on. Again, we'll be at booth 671 at the IBIE show starting Sunday through Wednesday. Well, we are adjacent to O'Hare Field in Chicago. You probably can hear the jet planes going over. I'm fond of telling people that they're so low when they fly over our place, I can tell you what the color of the pilot's eyes are. That said, we can schedule an appointment for you to come in and visit us and do demonstrations on any and all of the equipment. We can invite you and your team in to show you the equipment, everything from ribbon blenders to flow wrappers to bagging systems to check weighers to metal detectors, all the way out to rotary packing tables and case tapers.
Thanks so much, George, for all of this video content to invite people to IBIE booth number 671. We look forward to seeing you at the booth.
Sure do. Thank you.